Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's DAF, GITTEN Samach Tes. We begin right on top of the Amid and resuming on the topic of refuos for various medical ailments. And the reason why we discuss these topics in our Gemara, the Marshal told us yesterday, it's meant to highlight the fact that Torah encompasses all wisdoms and touches on the core essence of our existence, and therefore the Chachamim, who had the ability to tap into the depths of Torah, analyze and delve into the depths of Torah, you'll discover everything, all solutions to all problems, even physical problems, which are actually typically rooted in spiritual maladies and spiritual imbalances which bring about and cause a medical issue due to a physical imbalance. And these can be countered by using these various materials and membranes, grasses and flowers discussed in our Gemara, which apparently contain within them certain, energy elements, which, when brought about properly, can serve as a counterbalance to that imbalance projected by this person and bring about healing. Now, in terms of using these refuos bisman hazeh, so the Achronim bring from the Marshal, from the Maharil, we discussed this yesterday. We're not meant to engage in these processes nowadays, first and foremost because we aren't necessarily familiar with the specifics of all these materials and the processes required to bring out their healing powers. Now, our Gemara will discuss no less than 25 medical situations and their solutions, a couple of which we discussed yesterday, and we pick it up today. Okay, libruxi. Rashi says choyli sheba'ayin. So many of these terms, we'll be more familiar with than others, based on our Rashi here and Rashi elsewhere, and other Rishonim, the Aruch. We'll have input from many Mefarshim, and so some things we'll understand better than others. Livruxi, that's a choyle sheba'ayin shekeren tilya, some sort of eye ailment. How do you address that? Laisi, he should bring like this: akraba, the shev chumri. He should bring a scorpion, the shev chumri, which features 7 colors. His skin has spots of 7 colors. And this comes because of his old age. So he brings this scorpion, dries it up, and the yamshe betul, and dries it up not in the sun, rather in the shade. And takes this dry material now, v'nishchek tarti manasa kuchla, v'chada manasa minei. And I should make it into powder, grind it up. V'nishchek means to grind it up. 2 portions of kchel, some sort of eye paint, that they would typically put into their eyes. Tarti, manasa kuchla, chada manasa minei. So you would have 2/3 kuchla and 1/3 this scorpion material. Okay, so you take sort of a potion, an amount, 2/3 kuchel, 1/3 of this akrav, and take this mix, and fill up 3 sort of mini spoons used to insert eye paint into one's eye. Fill 3 of them, into this eye, and 3 more in the other eye. Don't add more. Because if he's not careful on that, if he ever does it, his eye will burst. Some sort of visual difficulty, which sometimes surfaces at night. So what's the solution to that? Naisi shudra bark should bring a rope made of various hairs of various animals. Horse's tail, cow's tail. So you should bind it into some sort of rope. V'neisar chado karamine, and you should take this rope, tie that rope to one of his legs, v'chada kara mikalba, and the other side of the rope should be tied to a leg of a dog. So a lot of these things we have no clue how it works. These are skulos and tapping into certain spiritual powers. So anyways, once he ties these things up, v'nitrafu yunuke chaspa basrei, he should have yunuke kids with chaspa, with pieces of shards of pottery banging away behind this person. They should call out to him the following chant. Okay, this is certainly not something we understand. Aso kalba achsa tarnagoyla, which literally means an old dog. Asa is an old dog, kalba, and achsa tarnagoyla, a deranged hen. Okay, once they're done that, he should collect 7 cuts of meat from 7 various homes, and the people should put it into the hole of the hinge upon which the door spins. So it's not clear whether it's in their homes or they should do it in his home. And this fellow who's suffering from this ailment should eat all this meat bikulkul demasa, on the city's trash dump. After he's done, he should remove that rope tied to him, and the people around him who contributed his meat should announce the following lachash, the following chant: Shavrire de plani v'planisa, the blindness of this fellow, the son of this woman, Shavkinu, should abandon him, should let go of him. Leplani v'planisa v'leicharu, and the blindness should be transferred, the kalba, to the dog, into the pupil of his eye. Okay, next. Blindness which strikes during the day, laisi shiva tzumke. He should bring 7 spleens, migava de chevasa, from within animals, v'natvinu achaspadu mana, and they should roast them on the kli cheres, which the bloodletter uses for his bloodletting. That's on that they should roast these things. And this sick person should sit inside the house. The other person, whose eyes are healthy, should sit outside. And call into him. Avira, blind man, please, could you give me some of that to eat? And the blind man should respond to him, Sav echel, please, have a seat and have the meal. After that fellow eats, he should break that kli cheres, which will bring healing to the ill person. Because if he doesn't do that, the sickness will revert, will jump back onto that person. Next. What about bleeding coming from the nostrils? They should bring a person who happens to be a kohen, but his name is Levi. And this fellow should write the word Levi backwards, starting from the Yud to the Vav to the Lamed. If you can't find such a person, okay, second best is to find just a random person and have the person write for him as follows: Ano, Papi Shila Bar Sumke. Should write those words: me, myself, Papi Shila Bar Sumke, my friend, and write it starting from the end back to the beginning. If you can't find such a person, he should write the following for himself. Write down this chant: Tam d'libe me kesef, Tam d'libe me pkam. Otherwise, laisi ikar aspasta. Should bring a root of aspasta, some sort of animal feed, v'ashla, and a rope to puri atika from an old bed, v'kurtasa, soft paper, marika, some sort of spice, charkim, v'samoka d'oliva, some red membrane that grows inside a lulav, v'niklinu b'adadadi, and burn them all together as one. V'laisik v'avad amra. Should bring a spool of a bunch of wool. V'nigdol tartipli psilasa. Take from that wool and form 2 wicks. V'litmish b'chala, and dip it into vinegar. V'nigad beil b'kitma hadain, and then he should roll it into this ash, right, to the ashes, and insert it into his nostrils, and that will bring him remedy. Otherwise, there's another option. He should find a water stream, like a irrigation stream, the Azlas Mizrach Kapla Ma'arav, which is flowing from the east to west, v'nifsav, and he should walk over to the Amas Hamayim, v'neikum chadkar la'hagisa, and have one foot on this side of the water and one foot on the other, v'nishkal tina b'yadei, Yamina, and with his right hand he should pick up some tit, some mud, mituse kar the smoleh, from beneath his left foot, or the other smoleh, using his left hand, he should do the same, pick up some tit, mitute kar yamina, from beneath his right foot, v'nigdol tartip l'asa da'amra, and he should roll 2 woolen wicks, v'nat tamish betina, and soak them in this mud, v'nesa b'nechire, and put it into his nostrils, v'iloi. If he doesn't have this option, there's another option. Leisif tute mar ziva. He should sit beneath an eave trough, through which the roof water flows off the roof. And they should bring some water, run it through the marzev, through the eave trough, and let it trickle on him. And they should tell him the following: just as this water is now stopping, likewise the blood flowing from his nose should stop flowing. What about a fellow who's experiencing blood from his mouth? We first examine the nature of that illness. We take a wheat stalk and we tap it onto the blood. If it sticks onto the stalk, then we have an indication of the origin of that blood. We're not sure whether it's coming from his lungs, which can be healed, or from his liver, which has no remedy. So if it sticks to the stick, we know Mireil Ka'asi, it's coming from his lungs. There's a way to heal it. But otherwise, if it just slides right off, Mikabda Ka'asi, it originates in the liver, which is disintegrating. There's no remedy. Amilar of Ashi. Why do we say that? We have a Mishnah in Chulun which indicates otherwise. That if anything, lung is more dangerous than liver. Nitala covet. We have the list of internal injuries, internal wounds regarding animals, which makes it a treifa, and unfit for consumption. One of which is nitala covet. So when we speak about the liver, it's totally gone, nothing left. Right? Klum. Now we know it's a treifa. But if there's anything left over, it can still survive. As opposed to the reya, the lung, hareya shanikva, apparently it's more delicate, even if it's merely pierced. Eshachasha, just missing a bit, constitutes a treifa. So we see, liver is more precarious, lung is more precarious than liver. And here we say otherwise. Amrlei, so he responded, given the pubeka asi, since this liver blood is flowing through his a mouth, it's a great distance from the liver. That gives us an indication that his entire liver is totally been dissolved and liquefied, in which case there's no way back. Omar Mar, so let's review. If this blood originates from his lung, there's a way to fix it up. How should he remedy that illness? Do it as follows. Bring 7 kune, 7 fistfuls, mipirma de silka, using so fistfuls of silka leaves. Silka, I believe, is beets. Vishiva kune pirma de karsi, and bring 7 fistfuls of karsi, leek leaves. V'chamisha kune pereda, 5 fistfuls of this grass called preda, glosa kune de tlapchi, and 3 fistfuls of lentils, v'kune de kamoina, 1 fistful of kamoin, I believe that's the cumin spice, v'kune de chavli, and 1 fistful of some type of vegetable, some type of greenery, you connect them, and bring an amount which corresponds to all these amounts of kanta patirta, blubber, fat found inside a firstborn animal. Vilabashal v'lechel, should cook them all together and have a meal. V'lishte basrei, after which he'll drink shichra charifa de tavas, real strong, high quality beer. L'kacha. an illness related to the inner teeth, the molars. Amar Rabba Rahuna Laisi Tumi Chidai should bring a garlic which only had one clove growing on it. V'nimrasei, and he should grind it up in mishcha de milcha together with some oil and salt. V'nis ve'atufra del yoina, and he should put it onto his thumbnail, okay, his finger thumbnail. Atufra is a nail. Del yoina of his thumb. Dahu gisa the chayav lei, the thumb which is situated on the side of his mouth where he has that toothache. And around that concoction which he places on his nail, he should put a little ring of dough to protect his flesh around the nail. And be careful that it doesn't touch, that the concoction doesn't touch his flesh, because it can be difficult for tsaras, it can generate leprosy. What about bubbles, skin bloating inside his throat? Rabbi Yehuda, this is the refuah. Chumsei, leaves of a plant called chumsei, ki mamru. So that's just as powerful as the remedy generated by the mamru plant. Okay, v'ikar the chumsei, but the root of the chumsei plant, that's really great. Adif mi mamru is even more effective than mamru. V'ninkait b'pumei, and he should put this ingredient into his mouth, hani l'ukmei, in order to keep the bloating in place. Liveshuli, but in order to heat up those growths, those pimples, so that hopefully the pus inside those pimples should gather and be ready for extraction. So that's the next step in the process. Lice, a pari d'reishnaf, you should bring grain skin, subin, a shaft, which you find at the top portion of a sifter, along the top part of the upper walls of the sifter. And bring also lentils, which were pulled out of the ground together with some of the dirt. So you bring with the dirt together. And a plant called tilson, and the flower found in the hops plant, and take all this, put it together, and put in his mouth an amount which equals the size of a nut. That's the next step in the process. And then, following this, we try to get the boils opened up to get the pus extracted. To open them up. How does he do that? Limpach lechavri. So you should have a friend blow into his throat. Tachle chivarta, seeds of the white shachlaim plant. Begila dechitza, using a straw. The stalk of a wheat plant. Use that as a straw, through which he'll shoot those seeds onto those pimples. La'asuke. Okay, so once he cracked them open and got his pus out, la'asuke, to have them, grow back, close up properly. Laisi afra mitula beis hakisei, should be offer found in the shadow of the beis hakisei stones out in the fields. V'nigbal b'duvsha, mix it with honey, v'neichel, and eat that. The malilei, which will really help him very much. Lebarsam, a chayli, which generates a flow of some sort of liquid originating in his head through his nostrils. Laisibe, keep his tikka, he should bring an amount which equals the size of a pistaka fruit. Okay, what is he bringing? The nishtor of this plant called nishtor, some sort of material called nishtor. And it brings the shear, the amount of a nut, of what material? The chalbanisa, duvshanisa, sweet chalbana. Umalit harvada duvsha chivara, and a spoonful of white honey. Umalei natla bas machoiz, and he should fill the natla of machoiz, a certain type of little utensil. Fill that up with chamer nikida, clear white wine, meaning not red wine. And take all these ingredients, cook them together. Once it's cooked, nishtar. When the nishtar ingredient is already cooked, apparently it's the most difficult to cook. Once that's cooked, bashli kula, everything's cooked, ready to go. Alternatively, laiser riyasa de chalava should bring a revius of milk coming from the isa chivrati, from a white goat. V'nitaife atlasa kilche krava should take that milk and have it drip on 3 stalks of kruv, of cabbage, in a kli. And he should cook it all up and mix it using a splinter of wood called marmehen. Once the marmehen is visibly cooked, everything has been cooked and ready to go. Alternatively, you should bring the extraction, the waste of a white dog, mix it with this ingredient called sari. This is sap, right? Tree sap. And even though he's going to eat this, but try to avoid, if there's another option, try to avoid this refuah, which requires eating the tzoya of the kelev, the mefarik, which can loosen his limbs and not necessarily too healthy. Lagira, a headache which feels like a sharp poke in one's head. Chas v'shalom. Laisei gira di lilsa. How does he counter this ailment? He brings a gira. Gira means an arrow. Arrow of lilis. And Rashi explains it's some sort of stone which comes down with the hail. Okay, so you should find this thing, v'nifche, and flip it upside down so that the pointy side should be facing downward. V'nishtei mayi levei v'nishtei. Pour some water on it and drink that water. V'loi. Otherwise, laisim mayi de'ishtei minai kabel. You should bring water from which a dog drank at night. But even though he's drinking that, he should be careful that there is no gilui issues, that the water was not exposed, left unattended in a place where there were some snakes which may have drank from it and inserted their venom. Ligiluya. What if a person does drink that type of water which had been exposed to snakes and there's a concern of perhaps having ingested snake venom? What's the refuah to that? Anpaka, that's a revius, the chamra chaya, sharp, undiluted wine. Lemursa, a boil which appears on one's skin, anpaka, the chamra revius of this wine, ba'ala tulana, mixed with this red plant called ahala. Lepircha de liba, a person who Rashi says is parach libai, he feels very weak, he's fainting. Laisit las brushiasa desari, should bring 3 chalois, 3 breads made from barley. Vinishterinu bekamcha, and you should dip them in some sort of milky dip. Delay avar ilovet arboin yom, which is less than 40 days old. V'nichal, and eat that. V'nishte b'asrayu chamer malka, and drink after that diluted wine. Well, these are really powerful foods, and if anything, it'll make him weaker. That's not something which a person should eat when he's weak. So he responded, no. Well, actually, when I presented this ailment, it was meant for a person who feels just the opposite. He feels like an excess of energy, and this sort of calms him down. The pircha de liba, and actually a person who is weakened in his heart, instead of the other system, he should follow this system: 3 breads made of wheat, and dip them in honey and eat it like that. After which he'll drink undiluted sharp wine. The tzircha de liba, a heart pain, heart ailment, is meant to be treated as follows: Laisi tlas be ninya, shall bring the amount of 3 egg worths of ninya. Some say this is the mint plant. It'll be asa the kamoina, and 1 kabetza of this kamoin, which I think is the kumin plant. But also the shum shimi, and 1 beya worth of sesame v'lechel. Have them all together. Look at Abe Meir for stomach ailment. Laisi tlas meir pilpule richas. They should bring 300 of the long sharp peppers, and every day you should have 100 of these pilpuli soaked in wine and drink that wine, and that would be his refuah. Ravin, right, the Chacham Ravin, the min Narash, who comes from Narash, Avala Lebrate, the Rav Ashi. So apparently he was trying to treat the daughter of Rav Ashi, who was experiencing this sickness. He prepared for her Mei V'chamshem Hanadidan. So instead of using only 100 soaked in wine, he used 150 of ours, which apparently isn't that strong or as long as the other ones. And he substituted 150 for 100 of it to Spitasio, and in fact, he brought her healing. Likirtza, a person's experiencing worms in intestinal worms, Anpaka de Chamra, the answer is a revius of wine, be'atrafadara, mixed with a leaf from this tree called air. Likirtza chivara, what about for white intestinal worms? Laise bizra galgila. You should bring some of these seeds of the galgila plant, tied up in a cotton cloth, and soak it in water and drink that water. Be careful not to drink any of the seeds itself, because otherwise you can actually puncture and pierce his intestines. Lameser, if a person's bowel movements are too loose, how do you restrain it? Sisin retiva b'maya. Take grass called sisin while it's still fresh, together with some water, and that's going to be his medicine. Lemishra, to loosen up his bowel system. Livesh to b'maya, take the same plant, but now it's been dried up. Take that with some water, and that's the trick. Simonech, in order to remember exactly what's meant to be used for what. It's a retiva de sachanahar. Remember, the plant, the grass called itza, which is used to close up block up the rivers who are apparently overflowing, so they use that to block it up whenever they need to dredge or whatever. So they use only healthy, live and fresh plants, and that blocks things up. So the same thing here, to be eitzer, to block up his personal system, you meant to use this grass, but the fresh version, not the dry version. L'tachla, if one experiences a bloated spleen, lai say shave beini demaya, he should bring 7 some sort of snails which are found in water. Yanapshina betula, and dry them up in the shade. And every day you have 2 of these soaked in water. And the first ask a kasha, what about the fact that it's a non-kosher creature? And some explain because it's shalei kederech. It's not your typical way of enjoying and ingesting these things, and therefore it will be mutter for a chayla for his refuah. V'loi, alternatively, if he would like a kosher option, la'isei tachlo d'tziparta, you should bring the spleen of a tziparta, of a goat, d'loi iftach, who never gave birth. Okay, so he takes her spleen, v'netchaya b'tanura, and he roasts it in the oven in some sort of using some fat as well. So he roasted it in this using this arrangement of a day, and he should position himself near. He should stand near that oven and call out the following chant: just as this spleen is drying up, and the yavish tachla the plenty of pronisa. Likewise, my spleen should dry up as well. Otherwise, if he has no access to this process, he should take the spleen of this animal and strike it bene urve, between the rows of bricks of stones, the basic chadata of a new home, and he should repeat that chant mentioned before. Otherwise, live ke shichva de shach b'shabbat. He should research and find a person who passed away on Shabbos. V'nishkali other, when he finds this person, he should take the departed person's hand, v'noisvei atachle, and place it on himself over his spleen, v'neiman, he should repeat that same, he should say the following chant. Just as the hand of the mace is shriveling and drying up, likewise his own spleen should dry up. The Farshim ask a kasha. One is not meant to have a no for a mace. A mace is usher by no, as the Morna B'Dezer tells us. And the Be'er Moshe answers, it's not the derech hano. He's not really nana from the goof of the mace. It's some sort of skula or whatever, and therefore it's permissible. V'loi. Another option is Naisi Binisa should bring a fish and roast it on the coals that the blacksmith uses. And he should soak that fish inside the water that the blacksmith uses to cool off his equipment. And he should have that fish. After eating the fish, he should drink some of that water as well. There was a story with this type of remedy. There was a goat to have this shas who was accustomed to drinking this type of water. And guess what happened to his spleen? Disappeared. Ishtechet, after slaughtering the sheep, they couldn't find the spleen because this very potent water has that shriveling effect on one's spleen, as we saw before by this person. V'loi, another option is should open a barrel of wine for the sake of this person. Basically, he should accustom himself to drinking good wine, and that will address his ailment. Well, obviously, if this person has lots of wine, which he drinks and drinks, he wouldn't be coming to you to ask for a refuah, because he would be healthy as can be. Ella, rather the point is, a person who doesn't have access to wine, what is he meant to do? Let's speak about him. The answer is Margal bepas shachris. He should be accustomed to having a good breakfast. That helps his entire body. A good breakfast is extremely healthy. The Gemara says it over here. The Gemara speaks about it in Bava Metzia. Extols the virtues of pas shachris. The Gemara in Bava Metzia says it can prevent many, many ailments, 83 in number. Well worth it. What about hemorrhoids? So pimples found underneath on the other side of the person. Lysi, what's the address for that? He should bring akika v'ilva. Okay, these two things. Plants apparently. V'aspircha. That's pure silver. Umar taka, and silver residue, which is separated from the the actual silver when they purify the silver. V'chumrasa the filoin, and this small mini container used by women to hang perfume over their necks. V'shi'afa the chamimta, and waste extract of the doves of the yainim. V'ninkan, take all these ingredients together. B'shachki de kitana b'kaita. If it's the summertime, the warm part of the year, you should wrap them in rags made of linen. If it's sisfa time, if it's the cold part of the year, you should use amar gufna, that's tamer gefen cotton, to wrap these ingredients. Otherwise, and one second, and the main part is he takes this whole concoction and places it on his hemorrhoids to heal them. Otherwise, lishte shichar marka, he should drink some diluted beer. Lishig roina, some sort of pain which a person may experience along his legs, his hips. Laisei pasyu de mamine. He should find a kli full of fish juice, small fish juice. Vinigan derei, and he should roll this container full with the juice. Shitten zimne ahamatachte, 60 times, on his hip area. V'shitten zimne ahamatachte, another 60 times over the other hip on the other side. Litzmerta. If a person chas v'shalom experiences stones within his urinal system, nesit las nutfiyasa mishcha de kufr. Should bring 3 drops of the psilus of zephes, some sort of kerosene material, which I guess when processed, you get the psilus, some sort of waste liquid out of it. So 3 of these drops of this psilus, with los and tfiyasa itra de kars, and 3 drops of moisture wrung out of the karsi, squeezed out of the karsi plant, the leek plant, and 3 drops of clear wine, and take this potion and place it, leish, if a man is experiencing these stones, put it ba'ama on his ever azacha leisha, regarding a woman who's experiencing this difficulty, ba'isei makim, put it in her area. V'iloi, otherwise, here's another option, lacy, he should procure una. Una means an air. It just means the handle of a container. Una dezika. V'litli leile ish ba'amo, u'leisha b'daden, hang it on the isha's aver and on the isha's breasts to remedy this ailment. V'iloi, another option, Leisi chutra de hazahirisa, should find a red thread, the shadete, which was produced by a woman as follows. Duma, she was suspected of improper behavior. Bas Duma, a daughter of such a woman as well. So this type of woman who produces this thread can be very helpful for our situation. V'litli leile ishba'amo, u'isha badadin, and hang it in those same areas. V'loi, another option is, Leisi kina de zachar, unakeva. He should find a louse which had been on a man. So he should find a louse from a zachar and a louse from a nekeva. Should take this happy couple, one of which was found on a man's body, one on a woman's body, put them together and hang them in those locations. If a man's experiencing this illness, put it on his amma and the isha in her area. Now, when this individual will actually shed his water, he should pay close attention. First of all, nashtin asisna yiveshta, should do so on dried sneh material. Sneh, of course, is the famous bush. Moshe Rabbeinu's sneh. So, some of that material, which is situated betzinera de dasha, inside the hole where the hinge of the door is situated. So, rather than having their hinges on the wall beside the door, they would have it inside, in the corner, in the floor, and up on the ceiling, upon which the door would swing. So inside that hole, they should place some of this sneh, upon which he will shed his water, and he should pay close attention. He should look at the material, the stone, which will leave his body, which he should retrieve, because it can be very helpful in the future. The ma'ali l'kul tzimri can serve as an antidote to all types of full body fevers. L'tzimra bra, talking about fevers. What about an external fever that a person is experiencing? Skin fever. Lacy tlasa gravy should bring 3 sa'ah, 3 amounts of sufli, of date pits, tlasa gravy, and the same amount of atarav adra, leaves of a tree called an adar. And you should cook them separately. Kol chad l'chodei, every batch separately, the dates separately and the leaves separately. V'leise benayu, and you should sit down between these pots, and then you should pour these things into 2 bowls. You should find a table, and place these bowls on the table. And you should first sit down over one bowl and then get up. And get up a little bit high from this bowl, and go to the other bowl. And get up from the other bowl, and go to this bowl. We have until he's fully sweated up and exuding hevel, steam. Okay, so he sweats off his whole fever, and then he's ready to bathe himself. He should bathe himself, he should rinse himself using this water, and then he's ready for a drink. The adra lishti, when he chooses to drink, he should choose the adra water, but not from the date water. It can be very dangerous, because it can make him an akar, unable to reproduce. Litzimra gavna. What about for an internal fever? What's the remedy for that? Lacy shiva, buni de silka, should find 7 handfuls of selak, of beets, mishev mishari, taken from 7 separate rolls, vinish lokinu afrayu, and cook them together with the dirt which comes up when you pick these beets. V'neichel v'nishti, atraf adra b'shichur. So first of all, you should eat them, v'neichel, and then you should have a drink as follows. V'nishti atraf adra, using those adra leaves that we discussed before, b'shichur, mixed with beer. Oi, another option of a drink is oi invi ta'ala b'maya, water mixed with the invi ta'ala. Rashi calls them invi gefen hamadelas bedekel, apparently some grapes which were slung over palm trees. So this type of juice will help him, give him a refuah shalema. Okay, so we went through another 21 ailments on top of the 2 that we had yesterday. So a couple more tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, for a total of 25. We should all have refuos and yeshuos. Lots of atzlacha and b'suras teves. All the best to you. Atzlacha Rabbah.